Hello everyone. So finally, I got AWS Solution Architect Associate certification with a candidate score of 940, and I studied less than 2 months. I just wanted to share with you my journey, my experience, and some study tips that will help you to get AWS Solution Architect Associate certification. So yeah, I'll just dive into the study tips. Yeah, so just to give you the background, I have 10 plus years of experience in IT, mostly in software development. I did not have a lot of experience in AWS, less than a year experience in AWS, which was more of CloudWatch monitoring. So yeah, the first resource that I recommend is AWS Digital Essential Training. This is provided by AWS for free. And I recommend this training for anyone who does not have any AWS knowledge. This is the best way to get started. If you are already familiar with AWS, you can skip this part and move to official study guide instead. So AWS Certified Solution Architect official study guide for associate exam. This is a must do. I must say it is at times it becomes difficult to go through this, and it's because of the language that is used is quite complex to understand, and I kind of feel sleepy going through this document. But don't worry, you may not be able to understand each and everything at first, but as you revise and you will get an idea that yes, there's a lot of information in there that you have learned, and yeah, you will definitely revise and get better at it. The next one is solution architect practice tests for SAA C01 exam. uh, I must say I did not score well on these exams. This particular book has 1,000 questions, and the way I studied was to create a custom test every time, and to get an idea of how I'm scoring. And I did not score more than 65% in this, so I had to change the approach how I was studying, and hence I moved to a cloud group course. I got it for around 15 to 20 USD with discount. uh, it is a very good course to get complete knowledge in. It's around 8 to 10 hours of video. uh, it is the best one, I must say, for as far as explanation is concerned, as far as the videos are concerned. It also has 2 exams, practice exams, and I must say those are not the real indication of how the solution architect associate exams are. I scored around 60 to 65% on these exams, and I was quite depressed after that. By looking at the questions are very complex to understand. I can give you an example. On one of the tests, I scored 68% on the first run. After a week or so, when I thought I'm better, well prepared, I gave it another run, the same exam, and I scored 60%. So yeah, don't be disappointed if you do these tests and do not score well. This is not a real indication of how you may score in your certification exam. If you do not want to spend money on a cloud group course, I recommend free code camp 10 plus hours video. I think it's 10.5 hour video on YouTube, which is the best one. It is really real good resource. I'm going to leave the links for all these resources in the videos description below. The next one is AWS Certified Solution Architect Associate Practice Exams by John Bonso, and this is a must do. This is by far the best practice test that I have seen. The explanation given for every question is amazing. You learn a lot from the practice exams itself. So I kind of scored around 80% in the second run. So to start with, in the first two exams, it was around 65 to 70. And on the other four exams, I scored about 80 to 85% on the first run, and on the second run, around 90%. So yeah, if you score around 80 to 85%, that's enough for you can be sure that you will clear the associate exam. Another resource is AWS Questions Android App. It's a good resource for on-the-go study. And the last one is Exam Readiness Training by AWS. It gives a very good idea about where you are. You must go through this and make sure a couple of days before, you must go through this and make sure that you have gone through all the topics that you are supposed to be ready for Solution Architect Associate exam. There is a practice test by by AWS. I did not go for the practice test because John Bonso tests were enough, and as such practice tests, it only has 20 questions. That's what I understood, and I didn't find it worth to pay $20 for the 20 questions. But then I've read the reviews that few of the questions from practice tests will be in your actual exam as well. So it's up to you if you want to spend, or if your organization is paying for the practice test, please go ahead with that. Apart from all these resources, I did go through Whizlabs tests from YouTube. There are some videos where the person is actually doing the test, Whizlab tests online, and I got the questions from there and studied them. So yeah, that was another thing. Another resource was Quizlet, where I found quite good amount of flashcards, a lot of questions. One word of caution, please make sure not to blindly believe the answers unless they are from a genuine source, not to believe all the answers that you see on the internet, because those could be perspective of the person who is posting the video or the blog or whatever. So always ensure you get the answers verified with the proper resource, and stick to what how make sure you understand it completely, and not just because someone's saying for the answer, just you shouldn't trust that. So yeah, after doing these lab tests and some of the Quizlet flashcards, and in one of the websites, some website on internet where the answers were all wrong, I had kind of 2 days before the exam, I had kind of lost all hope, and I thought I'm gonna fail. I will not be able to clear this certification because the questions, some of the resources had questions that were quite bizarre, and I really couldn't understand, and I thought I'm not well prepared. So just a day before the exam, I just stopped doing anything additional. Actually, 2 to 3 days before, I stopped doing anything that was additional, and what I did was just to go over the basics, whatever I have studied, just to revise that and not to study any additional topic, because AWS is huge, and there is a lot to study, and there's no end to it. But trust me, the Solution Architect Associate, there are no questions from a lot of services. There are main basics, S3, VPC, so EC2. So all these basic services, the questions are all related to that, and they are relatively simple complexity. They are not too complex. So with all this study, you will be able to definitely clear the certification test. Now that even SAAC01 has been extended until June 2020, you can even go for SAAC01 exam. So this is all how I prepared, and yeah, the exam itself was very easy. I could go over all the questions wise. So I had more than enough time, and yeah, it was a great feeling. I knew after the exam was done, I knew I have cleared it, of course, and with very good score. So yeah, if you have any questions, just comment on the video and I shall get back to you. Thank you. I'll put all the links for all the study material in the video description so that it can help you. If I remember anything else, I'll add it to the video description. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.